The clock struck 8, and I knew it was time for my favorite treat, a mug of hot cocoa. It was a nighty ritual that had started since I was 3 years old. I always had hot cocoa exactly 8, and I would have a marshmallow or two with it. That night, however, everything changed. It made my hot cocoa search in the cupboards for a bag of marshmallows, only to find empty. My heart began to race as I broke down in sweat. No marshmallows? No, it was impossible. It couldn't be. I always have marshmallows with my hot cocoa. I started to rummage through around the cupboards, tossing aside shoes, boxes, and cans. Maybe there were marshmallows somewhere I had forgotten, yet I searched more, and I felt myself panicking. I started to lose more cans and boxes onto the floor as I emptied the cupboards. No marshmallows in sight. I started researching the shelves and throwing away forks and knives as I kept searching. Nothing. Soon the floor was littered with cans and boxes and cutlery. Yet there was also no sign of any marshmallows. I clutched my fists and began to cry. This was terrible. Then I got an idea. I went to the fridge. Maybe there were marshmallows. Yes, I had to try. I simply couldn't live with myself otherwise. I opened the fridge with great speed and tossed everything useless of food a stack aside. No sign of any marshmallows. This was starting to cause me dizzy with stress. I threw the contents of the fridge across the floor. I found myself staring into emptiness. I broke down. No marshmallows. I couldn't believe it. I looked over to the counter and saw my hot cocoa. It was getting cold, yet I couldn't drink it without marshmallows. I was shaking all over. Then when it came to me an instant that I knew a place that I had marshmallows, I looked down and patted my belly. Yes, there has to be marshmallows in there, like in a cookie jar. I mean, I had to dunk the hot cocoa the previous night with the marshmallows. Must be still in somewhere. I began to chuckle despite when tears went all fours, scrambling for the floor, and found I wasn't looking for a large knife. Yes, I had to do it nicely. I started to shiver as I looked down and sat up on the edge. Of course, I was so happy I would soon get my marshmallows, and this nightmare would soon be over. I couldn't help by grinning some more as I was about to stare at the knife and then at myself, and then I opened my roommate's carried-on bags. For some reason, he dropped them in shock, looking at me as if I was crazy. I stared back and saw a bag of marshmallows he fell out from the fridge bags. I dropped the knife and then got to my feet as my friend started yelling at me something that I couldn't make out his words, but it was all a blur to me. My friend ran out of the room and I could hear him in the other room calling someone. I didn't really care. My focus was on the tap of the bag of those marshmallows, smiling constantly as I picked them up and stared back at the bed of the counter. My friend kept shouting in the other room. Must have been something that spooked my guests. I just opened the bag of marshmallows and put them in the hot cocoa and took a sip. Yes, I do like marshmallows. And that, my little pretties, was Marshmallows, a creepypasta. A marshmallow creepypasta or something, whatever you guys prefer to call it. My final thoughts on this story? Well, I could definitely certainly say that I remember hearing this story from, a few channels have narrated this story, I believe. I'm actually checking, by the way, because I haven't heard of this story in like a while. I first saw this story on the Sebastian's channel, and I could definitely say right now that this one was actually a pretty interesting story. Like, it's a very freaky one, yes, but it's actually a pretty interesting story. Oh, wait a second. Some people have narrated it, so yeah. This was actually a pretty interesting pasta. It's basically about, someone going crazy over marshmallows, and unfortunately they want to, basically, well, you could probably already take a guess. They want to, think that the marshmallows are in their stomach, which they're probably already digested already, so what would be the point on doing that? So, with that being said, I actually found this story to be rather good. It was actually a pretty interesting concept. It was actually pretty cool. So, with that being the case, I'm just sitting there and saying that I actually found this story to be rather enjoyable. Although there were certain parts of the story that was a little, kind of like, what? Basically, I'm just sitting there and saying that, this is actually a pretty good story. I have heard some other narrations sitting there and doing this, so I thought, you know what, I would go ahead and, narrate it myself because, I'm just gonna say it's a really good story, and I'm not gonna lie when I say this. It's a really well made story and really well detailed. So I definitely gotta say this was actually a pretty good story. So I'm definitely saying that this story actually played out really nicely. So yeah, I haven't heard of this story in like a while, but after hearing Sebastian's narration of it, I just gotta go edit this again because man, it's been quite a long time since I touched this story. Although I didn't narrate this back in 2019, but I could still say it's a pretty good story. So, with that being the case, I'm just gonna sit there and say that I actually love this story. I actually found it to be a rather well made creepypasta. Like the concept itself, somebody going over crazy because they can't find, any hot chocolate, well, marshmallows, and they can't have marshmallows without hot chocolate without marshmallows. Like, not everyone has marshmallows with their hot chocolate. I'm just gonna say, not everyone does, but I like to have hot chocolate on my, marshmallows with my hot chocolate if I have any. But other than that, I just eat it the way it is. Sometimes I would put whipped cream or ice cream on it, but, just to be completely honest, you could put anything on your food. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. So, with that being the case, I actually enjoyed the story. So, yeah. I'm not really sure who the original author is because it doesn't say, but if I do find out who the original author is, I'll be sure to give him or her proper credit because this is an awesome story. So, with that being the case, and like I'm gonna say, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, which that's okay too, we're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be a 10 out of 10. A pretty good story, I'm definitely gotta say. It's a really good story, really well made. It's awesome. I really do like the concept. Everything about it was just flat out amazing. So, with that being the case, what did you guys think of this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what have you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section down below. And yes, I know this is not really a long review, but I just thought, you know what, I would just do a short review because this is a short pasta. One thing I could definitely say what I would really like is maybe the story could be just a little bit longer, but it's fine the way it is. I'm just saying it's not it's not that I have a problem with short stories or long stories. Sometimes they could be a pain, but sometimes you gotta be in the middle when it comes to that. So, with that being the case, yeah. With that being the case, I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to my upload so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out of here. And I'll be catching you all in the next video. So peace out, everyone. And as always, I'll see you all next time. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.